Hi folks, so welcome to my channel. Got a new build to start tonight. We finished our last live. Well, kind of ended up finishing it offline because things went a bit awry right at the tail end of the last one. So I just finished it offline. So I just picked out another set here to start building. I'm actually just breaking the seals on here now, and we're going for Hocus Pocus. The Lego Idea set number 49. I'll just turn this around. So yeah, Lego Idea set number 49. Hocus Pocus from Disney, obviously. Set number 21341. And there's 2,316 pieces. It also includes a light brick, so probably quite cool. So I'll just hi Liam, hi Angeline, how are you? Thanks for joining in. So this will probably be a bit noisy, but I'm just going to tip the contents out of this box here. Let's see what we're working with. I'm really good, thanks Liam, how are you? Hope you had a good Sunday. What's everybody up to? Alright, so I probably should have opened this and organised it before I started, but I think part of the fun is just emptying all this stuff out and working your way through it, isn't it? So, okay, so we've got the instruction manual here, and there's a little small sticker sheet. Javid, how are you? Hope you're well. So yeah, I've got just a little sticker sheet here. There's, what do we got? 18 stickers in total, so I suppose for set this side it's not too bad. We're not really massive sticker fans, but they're sort of very much part and parcel of Lego sets these days. So, and then I've got our instruction manual as well here, so this will have loads of bits and pieces in here, presumably about the fan designer and I love Lego Harry Potter. Oh, that's cool, Angeline. It's a pretty cool theme. It's not one. Well, I do have quite a bit of it, but I don't plan on holding on to it. I'm probably going to get rid of a lot of it, but some very cool sets there. I do like the Diagon Alley set and Big Ring Gus Bank. I do have them, and I'll be holding on to them. So yeah, it's just a bit of information then inside the manual. So you've got some stuff about the fan designer. So it was Amber Vet who designed this one, which is very good. She actually participated in the Dutch-Belgian Lego Masters TV show, so if anyone watched that, you might recognise her. A few details then just about Hocus Pocus itself and the witches. A little bit of trivia. And what else have we got here? The designers, actual Lego designers themselves, have worked with Amber's design and pulled the set itself together. And then that's us on to sort of the start of the build. So I'll just get the manual of the first page here, and then we'll get bag one. So it looks like we're starting with kind of a wee side build. Where do you buy this? This is still available readily from Lego actually. I didn't buy it direct from Lego. I got it a bit cheaper through another retailer over here in the UK, Argos we call them. But I'm pretty confident it's not a retired product, so it's still very much available to buy direct from Lego. Just throwing all these bags on the floor here until I find bag number one. There we go. Right, sorry about the racket. That should be the noise finish now. I just wanted to get all those bags out of the way. Oh, that's good, man. I'm glad you're well. I hope you had a good Sunday. Do anything nice? Where did I get all this? I work hard and I just buy a lot of Lego. I don't really have too much else to spend my money on, to be honest, so Lego's kind of become my life. And like I said, I do sort of slog it out so I can kind of justify it. I do a wee bit of buying and selling as well. I do trade a little bit, and I will sort of do a little bit of Lego investing too. So that kind of helps me. Well, having said that, there's just so much Lego on the go at the minute. It's kind of hard to keep up with all the stuff that you might want. Anthony, do you have any Lego Harry Potter sets that you enjoy the most? Have you any favourite sets? Right, okay, so yeah, we'll start off with just kind of like a little sort of front to the set. It's not the actual building itself, but I suppose it would be at the front of the garden. It's a little gateway and wall then sort of leads into the Sanderson's house. So that kind of gets us going with the set anyway, which is cool. I actually didn't know what to build, to be honest. I was sort of really keen to build something, and this isn't really high on my build list at the minute, to be honest. This particular set, but I couldn't be bothered going up to my Lego room to sort of have we read through stuff and had a few bits and pieces. So I do most of my building here in my study because I don't have any internet connection up in the Lego room. So I had a couple of sets just sitting in my study here, and I thought, you know what, this is quite a good set. I'll build this, and it should in theory sort of integrate nicely somewhere into my layout whenever it sort of comes to placing a set. I sort of imagine it being like a sort of haunted style building somewhere within the countryside. So we've got our first sticker here anyway, very early on. So we've just got this little sticker here that we're placing then. So it's just a wee S, presumably for Sanderson. This is the sort of technique that I've adopted anyway for placing stickers, just using the brick separator. This gives you a little bit more control. I'll make sure I've got it the right way. I don't know if it really matters. So it's an S is an S, whether it's upside down or right way up. So I'll probably just go quiet for a wee second here while I try and sort of place this and get it right. I'm not a big fan of stickers generally. As you can see, it's not a quick and smooth process. There we go. There we are. It's not perfect. It's sort of a little bit sort of oriented to the bottom left hand side of the tile, but it's okay. So we'll just place that on. So I think this is one of the gate posts then that we're building at the minute. Makes a nice change to be building from physical instructions. The last set I built, if anyone was sort of tuning in that at any point, was the Brick Cross train station from the Bricklink Designer program. And those sets don't come with physical instructions. They're sort of download or online only. So you can't download a PDF, which I suppose you could technically print. But yeah, it's all sort of just working off of digital instructions. I'm not an enormous fan of them, so it's nice to get back to actual physical paper instructions here. Okay, that's that. Right, we're on to our next sticker already, so we're really firing down these stickers quickly. So this is just like a wee bit of decoration then on a tile. It's like little paw prints. So that's the sticker there. So it's just adding a little bit of interest to this tile here. Don't need to be too particular about it because it's not sort of very neatly put on to begin with anyway. So there we go. There's the last sticker down. Liam, what about you? What sets are you into then? Do you have any themes that you're a big fan of, or any sets that you enjoy building most, or what's been your most recent build? Anyone just tuning in, we're just started on the Lego Hocus Pocus Lego Ideas set here. So if we have any big Disney or Hocus Pocus fans out there, then this one's for you. Make sure you drop us a wee like, a wee thumbs up there, and if you're not already, you're very welcome to subscribe and sort of keep track of this build if you wish. I will I kind of try to do a couple of live builds a week, and this particular set I'll be building exclusively sort of on live. So if you are interested in keeping track of the progress, then yeah, give us a wee sub and hit the bell icon and remember then every time I go live. Okay. And we've got another sticker. How does everybody else feel about stickers? Any fans out there? Anyone got any good tips for replacing them? I know whilst the 4+ sets themselves aren't exactly the most interesting sets generally, I love how all of the pieces are printed. There we go, that's much better. That's pretty well placed for this, say so myself. Yeah, all the pieces are printed, which is very neat. It makes for a slightly more enjoyable experience, I think. I think it is possible to hi David William James. David, how are you? Hope you're well. Thanks very much for tuning in. Appreciate it. Yeah, I think it is possible to that's good, mate. Glad to hear it. How's your day been? Anything interesting? Yeah, it is possible to remove the stickers and place them back on again without doing too much damage, but I know I just sort of like to get them on there as best I can and then never have to look at them again, to be honest. Okay. Alright, that's the 2 gate posts on then. It's all very grey so far. Oh, you like trains? You didn't... I actually just finished a train build, well, a station build rather. I was building a Bricklink Designer program station on my last live. I don't actually make my lives public. They all remain private, so you can't even go back and look. I'll lift the camera in a wee second and I'll let you have a wee look. Hi Brickshires NI, how are you? Hope you're well, mate. Yeah, let me just get these gates finished here and then I'll let you have a wee look. Oh, that's good. I haven't been there in a long time. It's a lot better now than the last time I was there. Right, I'm just going to lift the camera for a wee second. So this here then is the set that I've just finished. So Brick Cross Station is called. So yeah, it's a Bricklink Designer program set. And I also fairly recently built this train here. So that's another Bricklink Designer program set. That's the Wild West Station. So yeah, there's a couple anyway. I will just get that back where it was there. I will have a pretty train heavy layout, to be honest. So if you like trains, then make sure that you keep it on the channel, sort of going forward. Because I will have a lot of trains and stuff in my layout. In fact, I'm doing unboxing videos as well separately to this, sort of for my main long form videos. And my most recent one that actually just went up there tonight is unboxing a lot of my train collection. So again, if you like trains, swing on over and check that out, and then obviously make sure to sub in, and you'll be able to sort of keep up with all my Lego trains going forward. I've got some very cool ones. And they, like I said, they're going to feature very heavily in my layout. Right, okay. So just finish this here little sort of sub build here then. So it's just the gateway into the house. And then we've got a little cat there. I'm sure the cat's got a name, but I'm not, it's quite hard to see that actually, the cat. So there he is. I'm not not an enormous, sorry, the focus is a wee bit crappy there and that, but you get the gist. Yeah, I'm not a huge Hocus Pocus fan, so I don't really know the characters terribly well. So I'm sure the cat has a name, but it eludes me. If anyone else can shed any light in that situation, then please do in the comments. Let me know what if there's a very prominent black cat in Hocus Pocus that has a name. Van 13th. I don't think that's the cat's name, so I'm not sure what that means. Sorry. Okay, so I think this is just the wee gate sections then that kind of surround the not the gate section, rather the fence sections that surround the gate. So I think that's just what we're working on here now. These cheese wedges are so annoying. It's always so hard to get them neatly lined up. There we go. Any... Oh! My bad, okay. Oh, like I was a huge Thomas fan when I was a kid. Not so much now, but I'll always have a soft spot for Thomas, but you're gonna have to excuse my ignorance outside of the sort of core characters from back in the day. I don't really know a huge number of them, so apologies. Is that a favourite engine of yours, or do you have any sort of Lego mocks of any of the Thomas engines? Or there's a little guy, Quirky Productions, you call him. He is on YouTube, and he actually has a sort of a little channel where he does some kind of smaller scaled versions of some of the engines from kind of the Thomas series, and does sort of wee stop motion videos on them. So check him out if you can. I'm sure you'll enjoy that. Right, another sticker here. Emily Binks says on this. So what's this? Must be a little tombstone or something. No. That's on now. There we go. Don't know if you can see that or not. It's kind of hard to get the focus there on that. I give up. Yeah, so that's a little tombstone then. That's going in here. So I got an Oliver Bigman model, very cool. I like it. Any Lego Star Wars fans watching? I'd love to know what your opinions are of the sort of leaks of the latest Death Star model, which I think by all accounts is causing quite a stir. I'm not particularly bothered about it myself, to be honest, but yeah, I think given the hefty price tag that's coming with it, it's not exactly sitting too well with a lot of people. Right, what have we got now? Number 11. I'm not sure what it says on this, but whoever it is died on the 1st of May 16, I'm going to say 93, it's either 93 or 83, but it's hard to tell. Okay, just got another wee sticker there then for another little tombstone. I've got a nice nice grey skeleton head to go on top. Some nice variety in these little tombstone builds here. There's a few different styles and shapes represented here. We've got one more to do and one more sticker, and then hopefully that'll be the end of the stickers for a little while. Bye David, thank you. Thank you very much for tuning in. Appreciate the chat. How's everybody else doing and that's watching? Hope you're all good. We've got another little tombstone here, Amber Vet, 18th of April. Oh, I can't see the date. Brilliant. There we go. There's the latest one, so we'll just pop that in here. And just sort of goes at a little angle. There we go. Just got like a little trio of tombstones there that obviously sit at the front of the house, representing some unfortunate souls. Lots of light bluish grey masonry brick in this build already. I do really like the Lego Ideas sub theme. You get some very unique and cool builds in it. Not sure how far I plan to get through this build tonight, but we'll see. I'll try and get a little bit done anyway. I sort of love to get on to the main house section. You can see it here anyway. It's a very cool sort of cottage, which, like I say, I think will sort of represent a very neat sort of spooky house out in the countryside, somewhere within my layout. Maybe like in a little sort of secluded wooded area, just on its own. And then we can build some sort of fun and interesting stories around it as well. Not entirely sure what yet, but when we get closer to the time, I'll try and get some ideas together anyway. Not super creative when it comes to that stuff, so I'll probably be reaching out to folks to get some help. But and then we just got to stick. What have I missed? Oh, I missed a bar. I've got a wee bar that goes on there. And that goes on there and then pushes down. Cool. And just a wee bit more sort of shrubbery to go on out here. Alright, so that's the first of the little sort of side builds done. That's where we're up to there, for anyone wondering. So yeah, this does hinge, but I don't know if that's necessarily intentional. I think it's rather just how it's been put together. So we'll set that down there for now. And we'll move on to the next side. Goes that way. Anyone that's just joined, welcome. Thank you very much for popping in. Make sure to say hello in the chat. Let us know how you're getting on, what you're building, what you think of this build. If you have any favourite themes or sub-themes or anything like that, it'd be great to know. It's always nice to sort of understand, you know, what sort of people are into. And one of the great things about Lego, there's so much option, it's so diverse. You know, there's a lot of different people out there that like different things. And I'd be a little bit more sort of particular in my interests. I wouldn't ordinarily have been overly bothered about picking up this set, to be honest. I'm not. It's not sort of the Hocus Pocus or anything that has drawn me into it, but it absolutely has the potential to sort of fit nicely into my layout, because it is like a fully enclosed building, and it's very interesting and it's a bit different. I'm not super creative, so I'm not really the best at sort of coming up with my own creations. So I do look for a lot of cool builds, you know, just to sort of help me on that front. So yeah, this kind of struck me as an interesting build that I could sort of put together and just drop straight in. I might customize it a little bit, because it's obviously very much sort of akin to the movie, and it's all a bit sort of witchy and sort of fantasy-esque. So I'll maybe tweak things a little bit just to add a hint of realism to it. Maybe it always has, you know, some purple flames and stuff coming out of the roof and stuff like that. So for the sake of the build, I'll pop everything in, but then I might sort of move a few bits and pieces in when I get sort of further down the line. You know, prior to, or I might not. I don't know. It might be interesting just to leave a few bits in there for storytelling. What do you think? Does anyone else think? Should I leave all those little bits in, or, you know, in the interest of a realistic build, would it make more sense to take it all out? I am a bit of a stickler when it comes to builds. I do like to build a set exactly as it is, as per the instructions. I then also find it very difficult to change it in any way. I'm just a real stickler for instructions. But having said that, you know, sometimes it just doesn't quite work, sort of relative to you know, maybe something that you're creating layout wise and whatnot. So we'll see. I don't know. Sort of always have like resellability in my head as well, just in case I would sort of come upon hard times or just get bored or something and want to get rid of it. So I always think it's sort of beneficial from that standpoint to have all of the parts for a set sort of still intact and still together. It just kind of makes it a bit easier. Something about this doesn't quite feel right, but maybe it is. Okay, so we're still just adding a few sort of decorative touches here. There's just like a little sort of half dead tree, and that sits in the garden. A tree that has absolutely seen better days. Okay, I think that's it then. I think that's the end of bag one. There's a few wee spare pieces left over there. And that is all. So we'll just connect this all up then. And Super. So there we go, that's what we're up to so far. So like I said, it's just sort of putting together like a little kind of front and facade then. That goes just out to the front of the house and leads into the garden then, which takes you back into the Sanderson's cottage itself. So we've got that built, so we'll set it aside. We'll get bag number 2. This is a bit more substantial then, so it looks like we might be getting on to the house portion. We've also got our first minifigure then. This is a very cool minifigure. And once again, don't quote me on what you call these characters, because simply put, I don't know. So this is the main witch. Excuse me. Yeah, this is kind of the main witch. I'm sure somebody else could tell me what she's called. I'm sure there's somebody out there that's a bit more familiar with Hocus Pocus than I am. Or maybe not. Maybe it's a little bit more niche than I'm giving her credit for. So yeah, we've got our first character here. Now she does come with a cape, a green cape. I'm not going to put it on her just yet. So I've just got a wee box here with a couple of capes in it. But I'm always a bit hesitant. I'm afraid I'm getting damaged, so I'm just going to leave them to the side for now, and then I'll maybe pop them on at the end. So you just have to sort of imagine what this character looks like with the cape on. She's got some epic hair, that's for sure. 2 faces as well, so just a subtle difference. So that's one side where she's kind of, I don't know, I want to say smiling perhaps. Trying to get that in I'm really bad at getting stuff into the frame here, and then can't quite get it to focus either. Smoothly done, and then there's the other side there. So again, I don't know how well that's kind of showing up, but very, very slightly different expression there on that side of the face. And you can see the printing on the front and back of the torso, and then we have a skirt, and then yes, the sort of funky headpiece then, which obviously resembles how her hair is in the movie. So there we go, there's our first minifigure. Very nice. Like I said, I cannot for the life of me remember if I even ever knew the name of this character. So if anyone does know, please let me know in the comments there, and I can include that. Okay, so yeah, this is us now cracking on with the main build. So it's not the biggest set in the world. It's not small, but what, 2,300 pieces. So I think a lot of that though is going to be sort of interior detail. I think it's quite sort of packed full of small and sort of interesting details. So I think a lot of the parts are going to be used up in there rather than the build itself. So hopefully we'll get sort of the main build up fairly quickly. Looks like it also has, I don't know what side this is. I don't know, there's little sort of Technic bricks here with the pinholes in them, so I don't know if that's for connecting sort of an external building onto this one, or if it's with the kind of modular line in mind at all, you know, for being able if that was indeed the case, but you never know. I do know there's like seems to be a little hut or extension on the side of the house, so it very well might be something sort of related to that. So that goes there. Alright, we're running a wee bit out of space here for this, and I'll have to move things about a little bit. the house looks like it's a decent enough footprint. I don't actually know exactly what size it is. It's obviously not built on the base plate, it's built on plates, and I've never sat on, I think it does have the dimensions somewhere in the box. But I don't know sort of exactly what that equates to in terms of like studs. So I'd be interested just to see what sort of size this build is once we kind of get the whole sort of bottom section all completed. Right. For anyone just joining, so we've just started building the Lego Ideas Hocus Pocus set, set number 21341. So this is one of the Lego Ideas sets. So I've had this for a little while. I've kind of just been sitting on it, and I'm just looking for something to build on these live streams, so I thought it'd be a good excuse to get started into this. So I'm not a huge Hocus Pocus fan. I'm not a Hocus Pocus fan at all, rather. But I did sort of think this would be a nice set to sort of build into my layout whenever it's up and running. So I'm sort of trying to really focus a lot on my building at the minute on stuff that I can factor in. I've actually had a wee bit of a spanner thrown into the works in my Lego room. So we built a house fairly recently, and we're still awaiting sort of final building control sign off. And the guy from building control that is signing off our house has taken a bit of an exception to an area in the garage that doesn't have a fire alarm. So we had an electrician out there yesterday and sort of looking at the plans and stuff, and there was meant to be a fire alarm in this area, and the building control are insistent that's there. So unfortunately though, we're going to have to somehow get power then to it. So I'm going to have to move a lot of stuff out of my Lego room. I had sort of, thankfully I haven't got my full sort of table set up in there at the minute, but I'm going to have to move quite a bit of stuff. So that the electrician can kind of get in and run some electric off existing wiring. Yeah, that's a bit annoying. But I suppose it's better it's happening now rather than when I have all of my tables in place and maybe started sort of heavy in the lid or something, so that'll be really inconvenient. So we just have to kind of wait for him to come and fix all that, and then I'm sort of hoping to sort of crack on in earnest a little bit more at getting the room sort of a bit more layout ready. I do have a load of wood that I have to pick up for the tabletops. My father-in-law's a joiner, but he's very busy at the minute working on stuff for himself, so kind of want him to put in building tables for me, so I might just have to wait a little bit before that can happen. Once I get my tables in, then I will be looking to get sort of buildings placed. And that sort of, hey Anakin, how are you? How you getting on with the Daily Bugle? So yeah, I'll hopefully, oh, I've lost my train of thought now. Yes, once I kind of get the tables and all in, then I want to sort of start adding in sort of buildings that are layout appropriate. So that's why I'm kind of focusing on sets like what you see here now, because this is something that I can get straight into my layout once it's up and running. I've got a wee tiny problem in that I've got a 1x1 plate that has got stuck in the underside of this 2x2 brick and beside the anti-stud, so I just need to find something to poke it out with here. I'm going to really reluctantly use a knife. Hey Britain Bricks, how are you? Hope you're well. Oh, you finished the bugle, Anakin? Brilliant. Thought the way you were losing pieces it was never going to happen. And what sort of do you do that now? Are you displaying that, or Do you have like a wee layout or anything, or are you gonna play with it? Imagine that, playing with Lego. Kind of so funny mindset at the minute, isn't it? You know, you talk to people about a build and your initial sort of instinct is that it's just gonna go onto a shelf somewhere, or maybe into like a layout or something. But I'm sure there's still people out there that play with Lego. I'm really good, thank you. Really good. I've had a really nice wee day out with the family, so I'm sort of taking the time now to crack on with a bit more building. I thought, what better way to do it than with a bit of Hocus Pocus? Okay, so we've got the light brick coming up here now too, which is cool. I put it next to the string sanctum. Okay, cool. They connect together. Right, double side. Yes, oh very good. So you've just got like a wee sort of marble display going on then in your room. That's good. I like that. Maybe someday you can kind of scale that up a wee bit and sort of create like a whole marble city. Have you any intentions to get? Okay, so we've got a wee light brick. Cool. Have you any intentions to pick up the sorry, excuse me, I lost my train of thought here. The Avengers Tower to go along with both of those. Yes, that's great advice. And again, one that I would definitely heed. In fact, if you watch my latest full form video, it is a bit of a long one, granted, and maybe not the most interesting for everyone. But I had like a really cool sort of Lego train that was long retired and sort of reasonably valuable, and one that I had to work very hard to acquire. And I didn't have it necessarily sitting in a windowsill. In fact, it wasn't sitting in a windowsill at all, but I don't know how it was stored prior to me purchasing it, because I picked it up second hand. And sometimes, because the damage can be reversed, but it is also prone to sort of happening over and over again then once it's set in for the first time. And I had the set up in my roof space. Or it wasn't even, it was in a wardrobe, sort of in a box, well away from the light, and you're doing very little. And unfortunately it oh, hold on, I've made a mistake here. Unfortunately it got really heavily damaged, sun damaged, bleached, whatever you want to call it. And I'm devastated because it's, like I said, it's a hard set to get hold of, and sorry, I've done something wrong here. Yeah, hard set to get hold of, and it just looks like crap now, which is really annoying. Alright, okay, I know what I've done. So yeah, you can check that out. Also, the some of the parts in question that have bleached, if I were trying to replace them, it's like window pieces that are a tenner a pop. I think there's maybe eight window pieces per carriage. So I'm not really interested in smashing out £80 to replace a few bleached bricks. So yeah, if you can prevent it from happening in the first instance, then definitely do. But yes, hydrogen peroxide, yeah, is one way of reversing it with a wee bit of sunlight, but then we don't necessarily get a whole lot of sunlight here. I think you can use a UV light as well, in fact, which does the same sort of job like. But okay, so I think we've got the base completed here. Quite a nice build. It's sort of in a mill style. It's actually not strictly speaking mills, because it doesn't have a base plate, but it is very much aligned to how I like to build them, with sort of brick plate. So that's quite cool. So there you go. There's not really a whole lot to look at. We do have the little light brick then in the middle. You can press that little button and it changes up through, so that's good. Oh, actually, hold on. It's just about to get a little bit better. I'll finish it first and then I'll show you again. What was I saying? I've been thinking about college soon. Oh, have you college coming up, Anakin, or? Brittenbergs, what are you building at the minute? Have you anything fun on the go? the sun. Cool, mate. Yeah, no, I sort of worked it out. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Although it's very appropriate that you should talk about the sun whenever we were sort of discussing trying to remove the bleaching or bricks. Oh, very good. All very sort of science focused. Gosh, it feels like an absolute lifetime ago that I was thinking about stuff like that. Tina's house, is that like Friends? Funny, I was talking about the 4+ sets earlier on in this stream. I was just saying how, whilst they're not my general go-to, sort of on the basis they're really not aimed at me, generally speaking, I love how there's no stickers. This set was quite sticker heavy at the very start, actually. Sort of 3 or 4 stickers within the first 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a lie. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stickers in the first bag, which is pretty extreme. And an old creator set, Tina's house. Oh, I don't know that one. Yeah, I don't actually know if there's many 4+ Lego Friends sets actually. I'm sure there's bound to be, but again, it's not a thing that I pay a huge amount of attention to. So yeah, no, they absolutely are, and it's good because Lego's for everyone, really, isn't it? But like I said, the fact that there's no stickers is cool, and there is the odd wee set which has some cool pieces and stuff. I sort of try to collect all the molded dinosaurs. So I picked up quite a few little 4+ Jurassic World sets, and you do get some really useful parts out of them. I don't care so much for the builds, but you do get some really cool parts out of them sometimes, which I suppose are useful in other ways. Right, where are we here? So I'm not sure what. Oh, this I think belongs to a little waterway that runs down the side of the house. So it just clips in there, and then that's us finished. Bag 2. We just have these funky pieces here, but these are obviously from this character whom I still don't know the name of, and I'm not overly concerned, but there we go. So there she is, wielding her magic. Right, bag 3. Here goes. Yeah, no, that, like I said initially when I read it, I thought, Tina, I'm sure she's a Lego Friends character. Now that I would even know that would be a bit strange. Now, having said that, I must say I'm not generally a huge Lego Friends fan. I've really upped the ante with the sets in recent years, especially sort of the more housey style builds. Some of the sets that they put out are class. I think there's like a wee guest house which I picked up, which I thought was really cool. And what I generally tend to do is just try and substitute out some of the more sort of bright and garish colours for stuff a bit more akin to what you would actually expect to see in a building. And then once you've done that, you've essentially got a very cool building at the back end of it. So yeah, the sets aren't without their merit, and they appeal to a market that's not me, but that's fine. It's just me who thinks some sets are a bit exaggerated on the age of ice. Like I don't really know what that means anymore, to be honest. The age of ice, I think it's more marketing than anything else. Is to try and sort of push it towards a sort of fan base. I don't know. I'm sure there's like a level of thought that goes into the builds during the design process to kind of formulate it, is this suitable for such and such and whatever. But I don't know, for me a lot of it I think it's really very much just to try and market it towards a sort of a demographic rather than sort of determine a difficulty of build. Now it goes without saying that, you know, the likes of the 4+ ones, for example, they're absolutely aimed at a younger age group, but that's very much evident sort of within the builds themselves and the sort of bigger part pieces they use and the sort of more simple instruction manual and stuff as well. But yeah, maybe we're all in agreement. That's certainly how it always feels to me. And like I said, I'm sure there is slightly more to it than that. Ah, crap! I've made a mistake already. No, I haven't. We're all good. But yeah, I suppose if you think about it, if they put up a set and say it's a 5+ set, and you're, you know, say 18, 19, 20, whatever, or older, you're probably going to think, oh, that's going to be a crap set because it's designed for 5-year-olds, you know. Whereas if it says 18+ and has nice black packaging, then it's a whole lot more enticing to sort of that older age demographic. So there you go. And I suppose you also have to bear in mind that age doesn't necessarily dictate ability either, you know, so it is all just very general. Go to the Axe Mansion. That's my opinion. I do have that as well to build, although I want to kind of build it up a bit. I think it's like a really that's quite funny that we set up things. The shield is pretty neat, but it's not for me. I like the Axe Mansion. I do think it needs a wee bit of work. I think the scale of it's a bit funny, especially sort of relative to, you know, the set you've just built and, you know, Sanctum Sanctorum and things like that. So my intention will be to just maybe tweak it a little bit just to scale that up. But I would definitely build that. I think it's a class set. It was actually funny, I was having a wee look sort of prior to me choosing this set to build, which I only chose on the basis it was one of the few sets that was sitting in this room that I'm sort of working out of, and I couldn't be bothered sort of going up to my Lego room to sort of pick out another set. But I had sort of thought I would like to do the Axe Mansion, or the Krusty Burger, but I don't think I've opened it yet. I think it's actually still sitting sealed in its box. So I'll wait and do it on unboxing video before I build that one. What kind of builds do you like to go through? I love quite a bit. I theme wise, I really like the Lego Ideas and the Lego Icons line. And I would say, I suppose from Lego Icons perspective, I really just mean the buildings. I'm sort of working toward a layout. So I sort of try to build sets or buy sets that I think will sort of work really nicely into a layout. You know, hence why I sort of generally sort of gravitate toward buildings. I do love trains. I love Lego trains. I especially love Lego trains. And yeah, the sort of Icons line is an impressive line. It's sort of like some of the more automobile style, not cars, but you know, the likes of Titanic, Concorde, those kind of things. Stuff that are interesting, have a story, and display really well. But at the same time, like I've recently built the Luxo lamp, the Pixar lamp, Luxo Junior lamp, and I built one of the wee mini orchids. I've got the jewel set and stuff there. So yeah, I just love anything. I think the more interesting they are, the better sometimes. Um, the most expensive figure in the daily vehicle. Oh, all right, Anakin. Thank you, mate. I can't think what. No worries. I can't think what the most expensive figure is, but I know that. Oh, I think I do know this. Did he wear red? Yeah. Oh yeah, Blade. Of course it is. There you go. Yes, I have a room above my garage which was built sort of very much to cater for my love of Lego. So it's a good size of a room. It's about 26 square meters. Ironically, I wish it was bigger. Well, I only know that now that I'm sort of in the space. But yeah, so I plan to build more of a layout than a city, if you know what I mean. There will be like a table that runs around the circumference of the room, for maybe 4 or 5 base space deep the whole way around. And then a central table, which is kind of accesses the main loop via like a bridge sort of thing. So I want to have like the impression of a city in that central bit. Where I have a lot of my sort of modulars and stuff like that on some of the bigger builds, maybe the likes of the Avengers Tower and Daily Bugle and stuff like that, you know, just to sort of give the vibe of a big heavy build up city. And I do have another train station that I have to build to go in there. And then sort of the whole way around, I want to have like just a bit of countryside, like a port. I have a train yard. And then like maybe a little sort of old historic sort of castle town, and then like maybe a little sort of village, a little town, a little quaint. And again, it'll be the impression of all these things. So kind of just like I won't be representing the entire town, but I want to design it in such a way where, you know, there's a lot of detail and interest there, and then, you know, somehow create the impression that then goes off sort of outside of your field of vision. In the sort of spaces beyond the room. So that's kind of my intention anyway. Hopefully it works out the way I want it to, but I'm already sort of thinking that I want to do more than the space I have allows me, which is really, really annoying. I actually had considered, because I have our roof space all floored off, and I had thought it has a significantly bigger space, to be honest, and I thought, oh wow, could I take this up into the roof space, but there's just too much temperature fluctuation. I don't think it's the right place, really. What's your favourite Lego train so far? My favourite Lego train is, well, I think it's an interesting one, because it's maybe not sort of an obvious one to everyone. I'm going to give honorary mentions to the Emerald Knight and the Maersk freight train. Oh, there's so many good trains, to be honest, but I really love those two. But my favourite is the Metro Liner. Yeah, the Green Knight, the Emerald Knight's class. But no, my favourite is the Metro Liner from 1991. I think it's set number 4998. Do not quote me on that, because I could be wrong. But yeah, so that's kind of one of the earliest sets that I got that I still have in my collection. It also was back in sort of, not a train heyday, but back in the day when trains just got a wee bit more attention from Lego. So not only did they release a train, they also released a separate carriage that you could buy for it, so you could extend the train without having to buy another train. And it was a club car, and to be honest, it's just so heavily wrapped up in nostalgia. It was my granny bought me it a long time ago, and it just kind of reminds me of her as well. So, but as far as the train itself goes, I love it. I just think it's class. I think it's the best train that Lego have ever built, and I'm sure people will argue me blue in the teeth about that. But that's my sort of opinion anyway. I love it. So now it was from the 9-volt era. So when they had the metal tracks and the sort of power controller, which connected up to, you know, it had the wee connectors that ran from a power supply. I think it's 4998. If you search for Lego Metroliner, you will find it. Let's have a wee double check here. It's 4558. Sorry, 4558. So yeah, like it's proper old school. It's going way back, but it's an absolute banger. Yeah, I really like them. But like I said, a lot of what I like about it is sort of nostalgia. It just reminds me of good times when I was younger and sort of when I enjoyed Lego as a play toy rather than a hobby. But yeah, that would be my favorite. Which, like I said, probably won't be everyone's. Yeah, 4558. Yeah, I don't have I had probably one train prior to that, sort of from some of the older motor eras, but I just don't remember them that well. I was so young at the time, and then I sort of fell out of love with Lego for a long time then, and sort of lost track of everything that was going on. But yeah, I have no worries. I have sold off all of the metal track and the connectors and the transformer and everything, and I have replaced it all with the powered up system. So I've got a powered up motor in there, powered up battery packing. So I've probably completely bastardized the whole set, but I'm sure to a lot of people I've ruined it. But I just needed it to kind of fit in with the rest of my layout, and that's how I'm doing things. So that was kind of the right way for me to do it. Plus, it got me a wee bit of money back. It sort of allowed me to keep the set and also sort of get some money, which is not a bad thing. So I think we're building a water wheel here. It just goes on the side of the building. So it's come together very quickly, this, which is really good. The last build felt like it took for ages when I was doing it, but again, I think a lot of that comes down to the fact that I was using the digital instructions rather than the physical ones, and it's just a lot quicker and easier to sort of work off of the physical instructions. So that goes there. One in the middle. And one there. No, it has them all a bit higher up, but I kind of like them a bit lower down. Don't quite know what way to do that. I think I need to move these all up a bit. Yeah, the sort of grey, blue, white and red. It's very like, what do you call that train? It's like a sort of very sort of typical American style freight locomotive. It still runs these days. Had that colour scheme, so it's kind of almost like their representation of that train. But yeah, I love it. It'll always be my favourite. See, it's funny, I see like all the sort of more nostalgic older sets, a lot of sets that are being recreated at the minute actually, just to sort of dip back into that market, were sets that I was never really overly interested in. Like I didn't care much for Castle, I didn't care much for Pirates, and I didn't really care much for Space. When I was younger, it would have been like sort of City and Trains, which I suppose is not dissimilar to now. However, sort of now I kind of do. Oh, I've done something wrong here. Now I do like the idea of the sort of space novel a bit more, and I sort of kind of feel like I need to collect all of the different coloured sort of spacemen. So I have been working on that, but that's not easy. There's so many out there. Some colours are difficult to get. But yeah, no, I was never really into any of those themes back in the day. But people loved them, and I can see why now when I look back. I don't know why they didn't sort of appeal to me. I know I sort of always looked at Lego as being like a sort of a representation of real life almost, you know. So the kind of more fantasy and space and all that jazz just didn't sort of really carry a huge amount of sway with me. Like I said, I love city. I love trains, airports, and, you know, all that kind of stuff, transportation and whatnot. So that was kind of where I was. So like I sort of feel like I missed out on. No, it really isn't. Especially now that they keep releasing copper share piece here. They keep releasing you know, like 60% of them in the build a minifigure, and then you have to go scrambling to try and get sort of tanks and helmets and stuff whenever they sort of drip them into like a random set. I'd say they don't really know what they're doing, but they obviously do. I'm missing a piece. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm not missing a piece. I'm just not very good at counting. Do you still collect any of those themes, or kind of what would your go-to be now? Yeah, I do. What's this? So that was one that I actually built fairly recently. So there it is up there. I also love dinosaurs. Yeah, so we've got the Western train up there, which I really like, and a bit more dinosaur over there too. So yes, I picked that up. And there's the little logging train as well. I sort of grabbed that because I couldn't really say no. See if I can get that positioned again. There we go. So yes, I couldn't say no to that. I don't really know how that fits in to my layout, because I won't have a Wild West theme or anything like that. But I think I can probably I have an idea actually where I have almost like a train museum style thing. And that's kind of like a sort of plain train tied up beside a platform that you can sort of go onto and explore. So that's kind of how I think I'm gonna build that one in. But yes, I do. Oh, this is looking dreadful now. Let me try and fix that camera. Shouldn't have moved that. I do obviously love Lego dinosaurs as well, and I sort of working on collecting all of the molded dinosaurs. And pretty much anything Jurassic Park that comes out, I generally tend to buy. But yeah, I think a train museum's a good idea. Funnily enough, I'm pretty sure someone has submitted a train museum to Lego Ideas. I would love to do something of my own, but I was sort of saying earlier on in the stream, I'm not super creative. Or like I'm probably more creative than I give myself credit for, but it's definitely not my forte is designing buildings, and I sort of just much prefer if someone else comes up with something cool and I can just build it and then maybe tweak wee bits here and there just to better suit my kind of style. But yeah, someone has submitted a Lego train museum and station, so like deep down I'm hoping that makes it through at some point, and then I can just pick that up, like I say, give it a wee bit of a tweak and throw it in the layout somewhere. Right, we're just putting together what looks like some sort of a mill or something on the inside. I don't quite know how this all works yet, but well, we'll see soon enough. Where does that go then? Okay, so that goes there. There we go. So we've got this little contraption here. Pixion, how are you? Thanks for joining. Yeah, so I've got this water right here, and then on the inside there's like this sort of mill or some sort of contraption anyway, so we'll place this and then it'll eventually probably make a bit more sense. There we go. And that just sits up like that. So I don't quite know what that's going to do. Oh yeah, okay. So yeah, we look. You can see here, we're going to spin this around. And then we get this nice wee bit of functionality here. So there's going to be something like maybe a grindstone or a mill, or it's hard to see that actually with my hand. There you go. Anyway, you get the gist. So that's quite cool. Yeah, it's good that. I do like it. Nice wee touch. I don't really know what it sort of means. But we'll find out, I suppose, as we get through the build. You don't really have a go-to, you say? I saw that somewhere, did I? Yeah, well, that's fair. I suppose the only problem is they produce so much. It's hard to, well, it's impossible these days to have everything, really, isn't it? I was somewhat prolific with my Lego purchasing for quite some time, and like if you get a chance and you can be bothered, take a wee sort of nosy back through my full form videos. I have, sorry, I'll finish this bag first. I have a playlist with all my sort of unboxing videos. So basically, just to give you a bit of background, so the house that I'm in now, we built and moved into last year. It's just the very end of last year. And prior to that, I was living sort of between parents' houses with my family, obviously between parents' houses and in a mobile caravan. So whenever we sold up, I had to pack up all my Lego into boxes and stick it away into my mum and dad's room space. And then anything I bought from that point on, I generally didn't build any of it, simply because I didn't have anywhere to put it. Once I got moved into this house, I got my garage all sorted, and just to motivate me to get through all that, I started this channel to sort of unbox everything. So yeah, you can get a bit of an idea of how much Lego I have amassed. But I suppose what I'm trying to get, the point I'm trying to get to is I have way too much, in truth, and I plan to get rid of a load.
Can we set up Wednesday Adams?
Ah.
Okay, come on when you can.
It's not even, well yeah, it's not even so much space, it's just a bit obscene really, the amount I've got. And I think a lot of it was sort of FOMO. I was buying sets thinking I wanted them, I was buying lines thinking I wanted to start collecting that line. And then as time went by, I think because I didn't build it, and I sat for so long, I look at it now and think, I have no interest in any of that. So I am sort of in the process of refining my collection quite a bit, so I'm going to sell off quite a bit. All my Harry Potter stuff is going, all my brickheads are going. I've collected the whole brickhead pets line, I'm going to get rid of all of that. And I have way too many gift purchases and multiples of each of them, so I'll be clearing out a lot of them as well. I've got another character here in this next bag. Again, I don't know her name, and again she has two faces. So we have, I think this is the one that was in the movie, maybe played by, oh, what do you call her from Sex and the City? Sarah Jessica Parker, possibly, I think, in the newer movie. So yeah, we've got this lady here, so she's got sort of a slightly more shocked face. There's also, it's very hard to see, and it'll probably not focus, but she's got a little mole underneath her mouth. And then we've got a sort of cheesy grin, some serious eyeshadow and makeup going on there too, on the other side, so that's quite cool. And then her lovely gold locks. So she does also have a cape, but similar to the last lady, I'm not putting the cape on just yet. So I'll build a little bit more here. I know it's actually getting quite late, I've just realised it's 10 o'clock. So I'll do a little bit more, and then my daughters are away. I was just interrupted there by my daughter, one of my daughters, and they're down to watch sort of the next episode of Wednesday Addams, and we're sort of all watching it together, but they can just crack on. I'll catch up with them whenever I finish. I have no issue with space as I repurpose the models I've made, make another set out of them, and fill the empty space with new models. Yeah, like I said, space isn't really an issue for me at the minute. On the basis I have a dedicated space for my Lego and a significant space, and I also have other rooms which sort of I can put stuff if I want to. And once I sort of get building my layout, then obviously a lot of the sets that are kind of just sitting around at the minute will take up shape in the layout. But it's more just stuff I don't want anymore, you know. No point having it if I'm not going to build it, I suppose is kind of my thought process. And I'd rather someone else benefited from it. Thankfully, like a lot of stuff is retired, and have probably accrued a little bit of value, so it'll just help me buy the stuff that I actually want, you know, rather than holding on to a lot of stuff I don't want. I do like that approach though. I like that you are happy to break them down, do other stuff with them. I think I was saying earlier on in the stream, actually, I'm really funny when it comes to Lego, and like this set I will build into my layout, but I'm probably gonna need to tweak it a little bit because it's just a wee bit too sort of fantasy for, you know, how I want my layout to be. But I'm a real stickler. I love building by instructions, and I hate doing anything to sets that isn't how it's meant to be, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I'll have to really fight myself to funk this one up. Well, having said that, this will only need some very small tweaks. Or alternatively, I just go full on story mode and create like a fun story out of it. Maybe it's a local sort of outcast from, or an outcast from like a local village or something, a local town, and you know, they've always been thought of as a witch and now they just practice, but it's obviously not real. Alright, so there's just a cool wee tail here, and there's a nice wee goblet there. Okay, so yeah, I've just built this here little unit to it just goes in the corner of the house here, so just a few pots, pans, and general witch equipment. And I'll just stick that into, I think it goes tight in, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. Or as tight as it can be. There we go. Yeah, that's good. That's logical. Do you have any mocks or anything, or do you work on any rebreakable sets or anything, or do you just freestyle? Just whatever you come up with, I suppose in terms of sort of how I do things, like I said, I do like working off of instructions. I like building sets that have been designed. I suppose in my case, I'll let my sort of creativity flow within the sort of more environmental side of my layout. So, you know, I kind of want to build up nice countrysides, you know, with nice little brick built roads and bits of you know, fields with hedges and, you know, stuff like that, you know, rather than just that sort of more sort of what you generally see, you know, grids of buildings and stuff. So that's kind of what I'm aiming to do anyway. And yeah, I think I'll be sort of more inclined to kind of get a bit more creative that way. But I do just enjoy sets. I love following instructions and I love building instructions. I will check your channel out whenever I finish up here. Come on, Anakin, mate. Listen to the advice. You know, there's no point enjoying Lego if you're going to give up on your future and not work hard now. I actually did computing science at university. It was a huge waste of my time because I had zero interest in it once I finished, and I did not get a job that required computing science in any way, shape or form. Ah, there we go. What have we got here? So some sort of a little... Can't find these pieces, so there we go. It's maybe it's like a wee pottery table or something, I'm not sure what it is. Or maybe like a wee... No, it's not going to be pottery, this is witches, it's got to be something spell related. Alright, so just a wee bit of an update. There we go. So there's just a bit of internal detail going on there, which is quite nice. I just worked out a big mistake I made. That's why that sits so loose. There we go. Yeah, so that's that fixed now. So there you can see, yeah, just a wee bit of internal detail there. We've got some wee shelving over here with spaces on it, and this is obviously like a little cauldron or something that the witches are working away at, and this is now working much better. I haven't attached this little bracket piece here onto the bracket at the bottom, so very good. Yeah, nor does mine, nor has any of mine, to be honest, in the past. I think the only good thing that came out of it was the fact that I got a degree, which obviously counts for something. But yeah, I could have got a degree in anything, to be honest, given the sort of work I'm doing now. But it's all good. You find your way in life, don't you? I have seen the film, yeah, but I've watched it as a result of my wife wanting to watch it rather than being terribly interested in it myself. I think it was quite good. I'm not putting it down anyway, like, but it's just not my kind of thing, really. I'm pretty sure I've seen the older ones as well. But yeah, again, I wouldn't be enough of a fan to be able to tell you a huge amount about what I'm actually building here. Maybe should have done a bit more research prior to going live. Yes, I did computing science at university, but that was a long time ago. And I'm sure it's very different now from what it was then. I think like computing has changed a lot since then, and well, continues to do so. Right, I've got stickers to do here, and these are not stickers that I'm terribly enthusiastic about doing, so I'm probably going to go quiet for a minute. So I've got these door stickers to go on, which is great because they are not even sort of a square shape. There's a little sort of cutout in them as well, so that's not going to be too much fun. Bette Midler, possibly. I don't know. I'm not even going to pretend. I know Sarah Jessica Parker was in the new one, and that is about as much. I think you're right. I think it was Bette Midler. She was like the main witch, wasn't she? The crazy doolally ginger haired one. Could you explain pseudocode to me? No. Sorry. Tell you how to make a coffee, can't explain pseudocode. Not even going to pretend. Oh, I don't know. I think I did a really, really good job with that. I'm super happy. Just to do this side of the door now. Sorry, that's not very helpful, I know, but there's no point beating around the bush. I could just go on the internet and see what pseudocode is and spout you some crap, but what's the point in that? Yes, Google it. Or better still, ask Siri. is okay. It's not perfect. It's a little tiny bit squiffy, but it's okay. Right, Anakin, can we bring the conversation back to Lego, please? You're making me seem dumb. Is this any football fans sort of amongst you there? Oh, don't even, man. Do you know the ones that get me most is, I'm only joking by the way, Anna. The ones that get me most are the flipping around ones. Because I stick them on in a manner that I perceive to be perfect. And then you go to put the round plate onto studs and realise that you have it about 25 degrees off angle wise. And then when you realise that it's a picture or a clock or a mirror and it no longer makes sense. I probably, yeah, they've caused me a lot of headache of late, but what are we gonna do? No sports fans at all. Lucky enough. It saves you a whole lot of agony. Funny, I used to like Formula One a long time ago as well. Back when Williams were great. Don't know if they're any. I don't think they're much good anymore, but I wouldn't be confident enough to say for sure. So, Anakin, do you have exams coming up or something, or? I really like this staircase. I'll show you it in a bit more detail when I'm putting it together, but I really like the way they've done this. It's so simple, but like really effective. And it uses sort of a piece that you kind of disregard generally, being it's like a crap cheapy ladder piece. So this is kind of how it starts out. So we're just using one of these brown ladder pieces. Oh, nice and Mansell Pross, semi-shoemaker, brilliant. Yeah, I remember it back then. I wasn't an enormous fan, but I think I semi-enjoyed it. Now I have just no interest whatsoever. Okay, and then they've just built these sort of steps with like a clip that clips onto the bars of the ladder. And then, if we see if we can move this so it's a bit more in scene, this then just clips on here at an angle. And then we just turn these all sort of square. And definitely gives the impression of a pretty neat staircase. They're not quite square, but they're close enough. Yeah, so there you go. Very simple. A few bricks, couple of plates, well, not even bricks, a couple of plates, tiles, clips. You get a pretty neat staircase. And then a couple of wee rails to do here. A very grand entrance into this house. It's a different sport now, I think, though, isn't it? It's not. I don't think it's quite as exciting. Back then, actually, there was overtaking, and there's like don't. What I'm gonna say is it's probably not gonna come out right because the drivers are absolutely skilled, but it just felt like it's more about the car now than it is about the driver. Whereas back then it was, it was very much, it was very much, well, the car obviously mattered, but I feel like it was much more driver focused back then. But that's just my simple mind. I don't really understand the sport that well, so yes, that's a good idea. And I'm gonna finish up soon anyway, so you'll not miss too much. Yearbook, that word. Well, sure, if we're still here, then I'll see you then. But like I say, I'm sort of approaching the end of what I want to do, so I'm going to finish up after this bag, and I'm sort of ready through it. Although there's mainly fiddly bits left, but I don't think it'll take us too much longer to kind of get finished up. So go and revise and catch it at some point. You ain't fooling anyone, mate. I'm starting to feel like I'm getting a wee bit left behind. When you sort of look at your mom and dad when you were younger and thought, how do you not know this and this, that, and the other, and I'm kind of getting there, and it's a bit sad. Right, okay, so I've just got another wee mini build here. I'm not sure what this is. It almost looks like a little counter for a shop, so I don't quite know kind of what this represents. And there is like a little cash register or something here as well, so I presume that's exactly what it is. Again, I'm not just familiar enough with the actual show or the contents of it to know exactly what this represents, but I've got another sticker to put on, but it's kind of a generous sticker in terms of its proportions, so still bolted up. I actually think it's upside down as well, which is a bit of crap. No, it's not rude. So that goes there. Another wee flame. There's a lot of candles in here. I wouldn't want to be walking out of this house and having to blow out all the candles on the way out because it'll take you a while. Yeah, this is almost like a wee sort of, one of those rotating shells with like little cards or something on it. Maybe it's I don't know, spell books or something. There, 5%. Oh no, I'm missing something from this. Yeah, a couple of bricks or a couple of plates. I'm actually really enjoying it. There's a lot of detail inside, which is quite cool. I wish I understood the sort of reference material a bit more. But yeah, no, I quite like it. I like, as simple as it is, I do really like this kind of little frontage here that sort of created at the start with the sort of gate and the fences and stuff. I think it's quite spooky and nice. And sort of it'll be a nice sort of reference point to start building from, when I'm creating sort of a bit of an external. But it's good. It's not a terribly challenging build. But there's very little repetition, which is nice, and it's like I say, there's a lot of internal detail here. So there's a lot to look at. There's just the internal of it there now. So yeah, there's a lot going on in there, and yeah, it's really good level of detail. Like I say, it's not terribly challenging, but it's interesting. again, like I say, I think if you understood sort of the material a bit better, it would sort of mean a little bit more. You'd maybe get some of the references and they would kind of resonate, but I don't think that necessarily takes away from it in any way. Sort of just trying to understand the footprint of the build as well. So I presume what I'm building here sort of accounts for sort of the majority of the actual sort of main house build. I think there's like a wee side build that goes on it as well. So it's a decent size of a set. And I can definitely see it sort of fitting in nicely into my layout in some capacity. I've actually forgot to place something though, because I've got a bottle here that definitely shouldn't be left over. I don't think it should. There we go. I think that will be me for the night then. I just want to have a wee double check here. I do have an extra bottle. I'm wondering maybe though if that was meant to be in your woman's hand. Can't remember where I started that. Yes, she's meant to be holding it. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna call it there then. Oh, I don't even. I've picked up a few other sets. It's got me really conflicted, to be honest, because I've resisted light bricks for a long time because I'm just like, I love the detail that you get from light brick, but I've got too many sets that would need lit up, and I don't want to start feeling like I need to light up every set in my collection. And then obviously Louis Bricks provide lights by default. So I have 5 or 6 other sets. Most of them are still in the box. I have this one though, which I've got out and I do plan to build very soon because I think that would look lovely. Sort of somewhere along a road in my layout. It's very heavy too. So I haven't built any other sets yet, but a lot of my Instagram friends will get a lot of material from them, and I've been sort of working away at it, and you know, they seem very, very positive about the set, so I will probably look to build them at some point. For now, well, here, just before you go, there we go, that's where we're up to with the build in its entirety. Got a little light brick in there too, and yeah, some nice details, because that's me finishing up as well. So I will pop over sort of once I get offline and check out your wee channel as well, give you a like and follow, and have a look at your stuff. Appreciate the chat. Yeah, it is absolutely great to find someone else with similar interest, and I'm sure I'll see you at another point anyway. So have a good evening, and I'll catch you later, and thank you to everyone else who's tuned in, and anyone that's sort of followed through the build. I'll be back at some point in the next sort of week or so, and we'll get a few more bags done and take this build on a bit further. So make sure to like, subscribe, all the rest of that, and stay tuned for future builds. Thank you very much, folks. Take care.